G'day ladies and gentlemen, Duckville here. Welcome to a StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm replay cast. We've got a PvP, it looks to be, up at the top right hand side as our red Protoss player here. Playing for Team Root Gaming, has been around the scene for quite a while. It is Caliber. And Caliber has, as I said, been around for quite a while. Has pretty much, he played Protoss for, I think, is his main race, but he actually plays random now and does quite well in the higher parts of Masters. I think does jump into GM as well. But yeah, he's a really good player. To get to see him around in the NA scene from time to time. And his opponent down to the bottom right hand side, our blue Protoss player. He played for the TTSEED team, which is of course basically the Root Gaming Academy squad. It is Bones, captain of the team, of course. Young Bones he's a really good player. We've seen, of course, a lot of casts of Bones here on my channel, just because he occasionally drops a replay on me every now and then and says, "Hey, check this out." And well, he says it in a much more Canadian accent, but he does come across, and it looks like Caliber. Wow, this guy is going to come across and get very aggressive here. Bones is going to make sure he claims one of his gases. We'll talk about the gases in a minute, but yeah, we're just sort of talking about the players as well. Bones, of course, very methodical, very generally tends to be quite a passive player as well. Not as in he'll sit and just turtle completely, but he definitely likes to take his time, make sure things are progressing properly and getting to the right stage. We often see quite long PvPs as well, which is kind of, I don't suppose it's completely rare, but it doesn't happen as often as I kind of like it to, because late game PvP is actually really cool and really interesting to watch. But anyway, we are on Catalina as one of the new ladder maps. This map is an interesting one, a 3-player map similar to Merry-Go-Round, and it's, I don't know, I've had decent luck with this. It's probably just me playing against noob diamond players, but I've been building carriers quite a lot on this map, just as a what the hell, I don't really care kind of thing. And it's been working out well for me. I have no idea if it's to do with the map, but I try it on other maps sometimes and it just doesn't work. But this one, I've had fun with carriers, so I don't know if it's the map, but whatever. So we did see the gas deal from Caliber. As you can see, we got double gates just coming up for Caliber here. Now, the gas deal, it's not as huge of a deal as it used to be. In Wings of Liberty, you could steal the gas, and it would be quite frustrating because, of course, back in Wings of Liberty, 4-gate was quite a threat, especially during the earlier half of the Wings of Liberty period. But what you could do was you could steal their second gas so that the other player can't really respond as well to 4-gate, and then just 4-gate and try and kill them. But it's not as big of a threat anymore. It's just frustrating that it kind of does take away a couple of options, like getting your Stargate as quick as you would normally like to isn't as feasible, and certain, like a couple of the quicker gas-based builds can be disrupted, I guess is probably the best word to describe it. But Bones has got his 1 gate up, he's got 2 Zealots out, and a single Stalker as well. Mothership Core just patrolling around, trying to find any targets that may be worth shooting at, but for the moment, nothing going to happen. Caliber's going to run up the ramp here. I think he was expecting that there was not going to be too much coming out of the gateways there, but Bones is well protected. A couple of Zealots to tank some of the damage, and that one Stalker there as well. Meanwhile, Probe just poking through. Gonna see that there is no expansion just yet, but he may have seen the probe that was camping there, waiting to throw down the Nexus. So Caliber's looking to expand pretty quickly here, and he does do that straight away. Bones has some options here, and as we can see, he's going to go for a Stargate after the double gates, just to prepare some harassment tech. No doubt we'll see an Oracle. It's well, actually, I suppose Bones does like his Phoenix every now and then as well, which is one of the reasons why I love watching him play, because he does do, he goes up to sometimes 4-5 Phoenix right at the start and just continues on the harassment through the early part of the game. But we'll see what he wants to do. I presume this is going to be an Oracle. Nope, going to be a Phoenix. Alright, so he's going to go up to Phoenix. Caliber has a couple of sentries back at home prepared. He's got a Robo on the way, so he's just going to play out this normal kind of expansion play where you're going to get some Immortals out. We're going to go up to Immortal Tech and have some, you know, Stalkers, and possibly we'll go down the Templar direction, just so that you can prepare Archon Immortal, which is quite a common way of playing through mid-game PvP. And Bones is going to send this Phoenix across. He's going to confirm the Nexus and then perhaps try and see if he can scan out his opponent's tech. So, if possible, no, not really going to happen. I was going to say maybe if he could try and deflect the Phoenix from getting in and getting too much damage done, but Bones gets a good scout, sees the Robo, sees the first Forge as well, and so he's going to know, alright, Caliber's going to play pretty safe for now. He's not going to get crazy aggressive after an expansion. What we'll probably see from Caliber, as I said, is the Immortal or two, and then of course we'll have some Forge upgrades coming out as well. So he can play relatively safe for the moment. We've got Bones' expansion finally finishing up, so he's going to get this base working up here. Both players sitting on around about 32 probes at the current time, and we did see just before a Twilight Council going down for Caliber. So he's we'll see what he wants to do with that. There are a couple. I'd say he's not going to DT. It's a little. It's like too late for DTs at this stage. But he will probably just at least have that tech available to him, and we will see this Oracle coming through. Hallucination. Going to see if he can get around the side. I wonder if Caliber saw that, and he's going to say, "Ooh, look out! There is an Oracle coming." Yeah, I think he did see it. We've got Blink on the way. Some of the Phoenix across at the natural base are trying to pick up the probes, and they do get in there and get some damage done. It looks as if the Oracle Hallucination was shooed away for the time being, but probably did get to confirm that there was Blink tech on the way. So Caliber could be looking for a 2-base push here very soon, and both players. It's a weird thing of PvP. When you see what your opponent's doing, you're sometimes forced into doing the exact same thing. And Bones is going to have an Immortal or two out by the time these Stalkers come across, but the Stalkers are going to have Blink, and they will have +1 on their weapons. These Phoenix are still just scouting through, and he's going to see extra gates going down. I'm really surprised that Caliber decided to throw them down at the same time, but he's probably assuming, alright, Bones already knows what we're doing here. He'll know that it's going to be a 2-base Blink Stalker attack here, and, well, we'll see if Bones is going to be prepared, because it is, you know, it's something that can be quite difficult to deal with. You do need to have quite a few Immortals out. Generally, you want to have 3 or more, and Bones should have that. He's going to have 2. He should have a 3rd one coming out shortly after as well, but he's going to Chrono Boost the Immortals as quickly as he can. He's trying to catch up with the +1 to weapons as well. Phoenix still doing a little bit of harassment. This is what you really want to be doing with the Phoenix, is just continually harassing, just to try and make sure that they are doing their work as active units. They always need to be doing something. And just looking at the blink locations, of course you can blink across here. You can also come across from the side as well, but I rarely ever see people do that. But there is a fair amount of space. You've just got to be careful about where you're blinking into and that kind of thing. I love these pylons here from Bones, just to try and set up a little bit more of a restrictive area here if at some point Caliber tries to run up the front door, but I doubt he's going to do that. That's not the greatest idea. Blinking inside, we get our first blink, and he's going to take out just the pylon for the moment. The Observer keeping an eye on what's going on. He's going to see that there are quite a few Immortals here, and he can't really do much about those Immortals. So with 3 Immortals, as I said, it's quite a lot of power, and that means that Caliber should be backing off for the time being. But Bones, he's going to be safe for now. We've got his own charge being researched. We can see the Templar Archives, and it looks as if he will start up the old Zealot harassment very soon. Would like to see Bones actually getting a pylon out on the map somewhere, you know, perhaps off to the side or something, just so that he can warp in, or perhaps even down here at the back of the 3rd, or what is potentially a 3rd. We probably won't see Caliber take that, but things just proceeding along at a 2-base pace at the moment, which is quite a standard affair in PvP. It looks as if Bones is going to have to deal with some Stalkers out the front door, but 4 Immortals should be good to take this down. Charge will be done in a little bit for Bones. He's still just a little while away. A few Templar are now morphing in as well, and these guys are going to be switching into Archons. Archons are a really good unit in this matchup. They have a lot of tankiness. They can sit at the front, they can smash through Zealots, and they can also, of course, do a little bit of damage to air targets as well. And now Bones can see these Stalkers coming in. I'm actually... This should be interesting because Caliber's going to have to split up his... he may have to try and just duck out the side here because he's going to have a hard time getting down towards that bottom side again. And it looks as if, yeah, with the Photon Overcharge active, there is an Immortal here and a few Zealots that should be able to push this attack away. But Caliber's... he's just going to leave it there for the moment, just saying, I'm not even going to bother trying to get into this fight here. We're just going to wait a second. Wait for the Photon Overcharge to finish up, which shouldn't be too long. I'd say it's another 10 seconds-ish. And then he'll probably just head out of there. Yeah, he's actually just going to slowly blink out. Looks as if... What? Why is he... Oh, okay. Just going to slowly blink out, I guess. Whoop, one of the Stalkers messes up its blink, and another one doesn't actually get the blink on. But the Charge Zealots are able to finish off those few units that were left over. And now Bones is looking to push across, because he does have a lot of these power units we were talking about. And these guys do ridiculous amounts of damage. The Archons and those 4 Immortals. In fact, Bones is just going to wait for the moment. Caliber has his own power units here as well. The Archons and a couple of Immortals, but just not the same concentration of those units. So I do kind of like the position that Bones is in at the moment. He's got a good supply lead. He's got some decent tech out, but I mean, relatively speaking, they're pretty much the same. But Bones is going to add in his Dark Shrine as well. He's got his 3rd base set up and secure. Caliber has his own ready to go as well, but the probe count just differing slightly. Bones a little bit ahead, up by 6 workers, and that gives him a tiny advantage here, but this is all going to come down to positioning and where they want to fight. It looks as if Caliber's actually going to get into a really good position here. Bones is going to be able to see that and say, oop, maybe I can't run down that ramp, because if we run down this ramp now, Caliber's going to have this fantastic concave, and you could possibly even make the argument that he could just send a couple of these Archons up towards the top of the ramp. Maybe we'll get a big fight now. No, we won't. One of the Immortals for Caliber just roaming around the side there. So Caliber's going to hold this position. So as I said, this gives him the option to push into the natural with a couple of those units. I'm a little bit surprised that he's not doing that. Okay, there we go. Stalkers now just moving forward. Some Zealots will be there to stop that for the moment. Probe has head across. A probe has gotten out and is just setting up a few proxy pylons here. But Bones is he's a little bit stuck. It's not necessarily a bad thing. He just needs to control this front door. It looks as if the Stalkers will be here to hold this position, try and pressure this a little bit, and Bones is now going to go around the side. Yeah, just sort of preparing a multi-pronged attack coming in from 2 directions. The Guardian Shield activates, maybe a little bit too early to get started here, but he decides to move forwards, and we do get the big fight. Time Warps on some of Caliber's units here. No Time Warp available for Caliber to throw down on his opponent, but with that concave and with all those Zealots at the front, he's able to crush through most of these units here. And while this is all going on, we do have some DTs and Zealots threatening the 3rd base, so quite a lot of action going on across the map. Caliber forced to pull back some of his Stalkers that were inside the natural, but the DTs, the key players here, are able to save the day. These Stalkers are not having the best of time. Caliber going to lose quite a lot of those for absolutely nothing. And now as Bones heads back across, he will find that there are a few Zealots here to protect this area. And I believe there was, yeah, an Observer was just chasing after them as well. But it was a good setup there for Bones. I mean, it did look like he was going to lose the fight here, because we had these units that were stuck a little bit on the ramp, and then we had some that were just off to the side, but he was also just attacking this 3rd, which meant that Caliber was distracted for a second, meant that he perhaps lost that Nexus when he may have been able to keep it up and running. I'm not too sure, but now Caliber's back. Wants some vengeance here. He is going to take out a pylon and say, take that! I don't think he can really push this. Now, the issue that we have is this wall here sort of blocks off the area for the Protoss to attack into. So if Caliber wants to come across, he's going to be very limited in the space that he can push into. But somehow these Immortals just sit here and they're just going to have a little bit of a punching fight with the Assimilator, and now Bones is forced into this really awkward fight. One of the Archons backing out of there. It looks as if Caliber will have to head out for the moment, but again, some more harassment. There were a couple of DTs just heading across, but they did get shot down. And I mean, Bones he's holding this base, which is good for him. He just needs to try and keep up the worker production at the moment, because he has been caught by Caliber, but now he's on the offensive. So Bones is going to look to push out here. I think it would be a good idea for him to see what he can do across the map. He does have +3 on his weapons, which means that especially the Immortals are going to be smashing through all of the armored targets, such as the Stalkers, and if there are any other Immortals out on the field. So we'll see. There are a lot of Archons here for Caliber, and he does have +1 armor. So it's a weird little mix of upgrades here between these two players. One has a slight advantage when it comes to the weapons, which is in PvP. If you don't play Protoss, it's weapons in PvP is generally considered a better upgrade. But I mean, the armor on the Zealots is actually really helpful, because that means they're going to be able to tank for a lot longer periods here. But Bones now just scouting across with a hallucinated Phoenix, wants to see what's happening here. Not too much going on just yet, but it looks as if Caliber is preparing for another attack. Bones he needs to make sure that he's on this in a better concave position here, and he decides he wants to go forward. Time Walk stops some of the Bones units from pushing too far forwards. The Zealots are a little bit stuck. Some of these units from Bones are way out of position here, just at the back. I don't know what these guys are doing. It looks as if Bones is gonna... I would say he's still going to win this fight, though, because reinforcements are really going to help him out, and Caliber can't even recall because he didn't have the energy, nor does he have a Mothership Core anymore. And that is quite the power that you have with +3 on the weapons there. Caliber losing out quite badly in this fight, but some DTs and some Zealots have made their way into the third. Bones is going to lose this base, no doubt about that. We're going to be stuck in a 2-base versus 3-base situation here between these two high-level NA Protoss players, or Protoss and a random, I guess technically you could say. And now Bones is looking to pressure this base again. Some more Templar warping in to get some Archons rolling. Bones, is he gonna lose the natural as well? This is a little bit of a worry here for Bones. He is gonna lose some of that mining. He needs to take out this base. He has to take this base out, otherwise things are gonna be pretty dire when it comes to the economic situation. If he lets Caliber keep this, then things are going to be quite a worry. As the Zealots did get in, they killed off a couple of the probes, but yeah, luckily for Bones, not enough available for Caliber to keep this base alive, and that one goes down with full chrono. Wow, Caliber, come on, man. Use up some of that chrono, boost some of those units out. But Caliber, the situation is Caliber is sitting on very few minerals. He's still got a few patches left at this natural base. Of course, he can head over here to this possible base and start long distance mining, or maybe he can head back across here, but he needs to build up that mineral count to get another Nexus going, because, you know, he is able to come across. What's this Mothership Core doing, Bones? He could lose that. He's gonna lose the Mothership Core. Yep. Mothership Core goes down. Caliber's probably gonna blink inside. He needs to try and target down some of these, perhaps some of the pylons, perhaps some of the tech buildings as well. Like maybe even a gateway could be a good idea. I mean, pylons will be much easier to take out, as we can see. An Immortal comes through, and the Immortal's like, let's do this. Wants to fight. Blasts apart one of the Stalkers. Bits falling down all over the ground there. And Caliber has to back off. So Caliber's built up his mineral count. There's no doubt about that. He's got 1,000 minerals roughly available to him. So he's just clearing out this space here, and in fact is going to build another Nexus across to the top left-hand side of the map. That's an interesting choice. It's always good to have a hidden base, but it is very far away. So it's going to be hard for him to make any defensive moves there. So just looking at the unit supply as well, just because of course this is going to be a big factor here, given that we're stuck on kind of 2 bases at the moment. We've got 8 Archons, a couple of Sentries, a single Stalker, 6 Immortals, which is a big factor here, a couple of DTs and some Zealots for Bones, whereas for Caliber, he's got 6 Stalkers with Blink, 5 Archons, 3 Immortals, so half the count, a couple of DTs and 13 Zealots. So there is a very quite a difference in the actual type of units that these players have, but I would favour Bones in this case, because he does have the AoE damage of the Archons and that high-powered attack of all 6 of those Immortals. So Caliber, getting inside the main base of Bones, is going to take out pylon after pylon, wants to try and restrict his opponent from getting any kind of reinforcements going on here. There's a single DT, but the DT is not going to be able to take care of all of these Stalkers, and the Stalkers will take out a lot of the probes, and Caliber's base across to the top left-hand side has been finished up. Bones scouts it out with the hallucinated Phoenix. That is key here. And DTs are going to get across and finish that off. Bones, is he going to lose this Nexus here? This is going to be big if this goes down, but looks as if the Observer is going to get here in time. DTs are taken out just in the nick of time. Stalker's also getting taken out. And, wow, this is certainly down to the wire. Bones is, I don't know, this is kind of hard to call. Bones has lost a few of his units here, but has kept this base alive for the moment. Is sitting on 9 probes. 9 probes at the moment. 66 workers killed by Caliber at this stage. He's lost 37 of his own. The DT is now finishing off that base. And this is going to make this a very, very interesting situation here, because Bones, he can still sit around and try and mine and try and get back into a good spot, but Caliber has 35 probes, so he actually has quite a lot more than his opponent does, so eventually he's going to be able to build up another Nexus. But the problem is that he only has the Nexus back at the natural, and he can't actually build another one just yet. So this is a very intriguing situation. 121 supply for Caliber. Going to build that up a little bit more to 129. And, I mean, Caliber also has a slight upgrade advantage. He's got the +1 on his armor, so, I mean, that's one thing that he also has going for him, but, I don't know. This is very odd. I think Caliber is in a bit of a better spot here. I'm just not 100% sure, just because of the long-distance mining is a really interesting factor, because, you know, one of these guys could come through. DT is going to try and get in here, but there are some DTs in a zealot of his own, and this is he seriously? He is. He's going to get out. Alright. Okay, so the DT gets across to this base, and these probes are going to be in trouble here. Just trying to target a couple of them down. Probably should try and hide the DT. I don't think he should come back. Yeah, is he going to get out? This DT is really key, actually. If you can keep DTs alive across the map to harass your opponent, that's going to be quite helpful. But once again, Caliber has moved down to this low ground position here, controlling this spot. Maybe... what? Do you even lift Immortals? I don't know. I don't know what's happening there. But, alright, so, bit of a standoff here between these two players. Caliber trying to buy himself some more time to build another Nexus, because he has had to drop some of his resources into morphing in a few more units. But, the Warp Prism now looking across, you can see, I don't know if you guys can see what he's trying to do here, but he's trying to drop a Templar in to feed back the Mothership core. So that's what the plan is here for Caliber, and he's sort of dancing around because Bones obviously has a bit of a counter to the Warp Prism, so he can just chase after the Prism there, and he can try and kill it off. But, I mean, if Caliber loses this, that's no good as well. And, in fact, we may just have a straight-up fight here. The Templar looking for the feedback. Couldn't find the shot on the Mothership core there. Bones just stuck in the top of his ramp here. I would say we're just going to pull probes or something. Certainly could, but he's going to march down the bottom of the ramp, moving some units into position. A couple of hallucinations here helping out Bones as well. But the storms are thrown down. Caliber just blanketing the field there, but is it enough? Of course, Immortals have got a lot of health and a lot of shields, and so do those Archons. One of these hallucinations at the front taking a lot of the fire, and that looks as if Bones has won that fight. And now that Caliber has finally started to try and rebuild his Nexus and get another base up and running, this could be it for him. Probes just still sitting out here, and Observer's going to come along to make sure he has some detection to deal with any further DT threats. But Bones, I think, has just won the fight there, and in turn could win this game right here, right now. Marching across the map, he's got these powerful Immortals. We've got these powerful probes with their tasers that do, 5 damage. He's going to see what he can do with this. The Archons are also moving through. A few units are now just dropping in. 2 Immortals is going to be the combination of units that Caliber is going to try and save this game with, but I'm not sure it's going to happen. I generally tend to think that 6 Immortals and, 4 Archons is a little bit better at killing off buildings, and even with these probes thrown in for extra fun, that is probably going to be it. Immortals are just going to move in here and try and kill off the cannon, but that is pretty much it. Too much for Caliber to deal with. Just a little bit unfortunate with that fight. He led his opponent down the ramp, and that kind of cost him there. Also, as well, of course, as we were talking about, these Immortals just so helpful in dealing with big Protoss versus Protoss fights. And as we can see, Bones just going to waltz his way inside. Needs to keep as many of these units alive as he can. But, well, Actually targets down an observer there. That was pretty cool by Caliber, but is not able to save the day. The DT goes down. Caliber just checking how much money do you actually have. And Bones will say none because there is 10 minerals left over. And that is it. The game is over. What a crazy PvP between these two North American Protoss players, or Protoss and a random, as I said before. Shout out to Caliber for playing random. It's always a bit of a fun thing to do. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this match. Make sure you share, of course. Share it out on the social medias and things like that. And say hi in the comments and whatnot. And I'll see you guys next time.